All right, so how's it going today? Let's get into this. Now, one thing I need to make sure that you understand is that when I talk about different things, I'm talking in generalities, not specifics. And today I want to talk about kids, raising kids, that kind of thing. So don't think that I'm talking specifically about your kids or anybody else's kids. I'm just talking in generalities, right? Okay, so let's get started. I've seen over the years different kind. Now, don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, you had spoiled kids. When my kids were kids, we had spoiled kids. And now we still have spoiled kids. But what I've seen over the years is interesting because let's use an analogy of raising kids is kind of similar to raising an animal, whether that's a horse, a dog, doesn't matter. And if you take a dog or a horse and you give it no discipline whatsoever. You feed it when it needs to be fed. You do whatever it needs to have done, but you don't correct it at all. Well, sometimes you get a wild kid, or you get a wild dog, or a horse, or anything else. I mean, we would go to, there was three of us growing up, and we would go to a restaurant. And when we went to the restaurant, we were not allowed to get out of the booth or the table chairs, wherever we were at, and just kind of run around the restaurant. But at the same time, while I was there, we went to a diner one time and I'm sitting there, and you know how they got that was when the diners, I think they still have some still, but with the little stools that sit at the counter. Yeah, there's like a freaking kid that's running through there spinning those things. And sometimes he's trying to spin ones that people are sitting on, and he don't have a clue who those people are, nor does his parents. But his parents are doing nothing but kind of giggling, thinking that's cute. And I don't really think that's cute. I didn't think it was cute then, but I thought it was it sucked because they weren't getting in trouble. And I can tell you, if I'd have done that, I'd have gotten in trouble. And I can tell you, growing up, I've had quite a few spankings, let's call it that. But at the same time, I would have to say I deserve probably 99% of them because I did a lot of things I probably shouldn't do. And, I was kind of like, yeah, why not? But the thing that was good with me, and I don't necessarily think it's good, but it is with me, is when people told me I couldn't do it, I did it. Now, I'm okay with doing it and paying the price of whatever it is that's going to happen. And that's part of experience. But at the same time, I raised 5 kids. My parents raised 3 kids. My kids some are raising 4 and 5, some are raising 2, some are raising 3, some are raising 1. But the thing that seems to be pretty prevalent with them, as it was with me, is a certain amount of discipline. Now, discipline, I don't mean that you need to beat your kids all the time. I didn't beat my kids. They got spankings, but I didn't beat them. I had kind of a thing that my kids would get 1, 2, or 3 swats depending upon what they did, which is kind of like what it was when I was in school. And you would get swats from the principal. Depending upon what you did was kind of along the lines of how many swats you got. And with my kids, for example, 3, in order to get 3, I had to catch you in a lie because I hated people lying. And I didn't want my children to be lying, especially to me. And so what would happen is if they would lie, 3. But if they told me the truth, depending on what it was, they might not get any. At, at best, they got one. Because I wanted them to understand that telling the truth was way better than lying. Now, is that the right way? I don't know. I do know that today's children are not spanked like they were when I was younger, or even when my kids were younger. And I don't know that it's necessarily bad, but I do know that children in general don't have the respect for older people that used to be there when I was young or when my children were young. So that's something that needs to be kind of addressed, or not. Raise your children the way you want to raise your children. But I'm just saying, raising children are like raising animals. You raise them without any discipline, they'll be wild. With discipline, they'll be more constructive citizens that are caring about other people. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things over my life. But you have a good day, and we'll talk more about this later. Bye.